Just like to offer a big shout out to Touchdown Digital, the sponsor of this week's video. Well, hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Glenn Samuel and I'm your host here at Sniper Photography. Today I want to talk to you, or briefly talk to you about time and time with your photography, or the amount of time that you spend with your photography. Now, like anything in life, to be good at anything really, you need to spend time at it, and photography is no different. I think people seem to think that if I only go out every now and again, that I'll take some good images, and you could be lucky, you could fluke it. But in all seriousness here, to be good at something, whether it's photography, sport, golf, swimming, whatever it might be, you have to devote time to it. And the more time you devote to it, regardless of what it is, you will become better at it. And it's a very simple equation. However, there is a problem, and it's a big problem for a lot of people, and that is they don't have time. People that, we're living in a fast-paced society. We're living in a very expensive world, especially in this country, Australia, where people are working long hours, they've got family commitments, they could have health issues, but their time is swallowed up by just the facts of life. But if you're a photographer and you're involved in photography, I need to stress to you that you need to devote some sort of time to developing your craft. And I've been doing this now for over half a century, over 50 years. And there's one thing that I've learnt over all those years, and that is if you don't devote enough time to this wonderful pastime we call photography, well then you will struggle and you won't achieve what you want to achieve, because there's a lot of outside pressures with photography, such as social media. Now, photography, I believe, is not really in a good place, and it's not been in a good place for some time now, because when you look at it, everyone's got a camera in their pocket, and I'm talking mainly about a mobile phone or a cell phone for our American viewers. And there are people out there that just seem to take photos willy-nilly with their phones, and then they put them on social media and they use these special filters and apps and things, and it's not really photography. And I travel a lot, and I mean a real lot actually, both here in Australia and overseas. I'm due to go overseas in the next 4 weeks, and when I do that, I just see so many people using their phones, and I understand it because it's easy, it's cheaper, it's quicker, but I'm seeing far less proper photographers out there. And as I've said, I've been to many countries. I've been rather fortunate to do overseas travel, but simply what I'm saying is people aren't devoting time to their photography. What they'll do, they'll revert to their mobile phone or cell phone, and that's okay for social media and things like that. But I'm talking about real photography where you're using a real camera and a real lens, and maybe speed lights and flashes and filters and tripods. This is real photography. But to be good at real photography, you need to spend time at it. You need to develop your skills, and that only happens over time, but it also happens over how many times you go out with your camera. And I know that time is precious for people. I get that. Family commitments, work commitments. And there's one thing that I learnt with my profession, as that is that you don't sacrifice family time for your photography. Now, regardless of me earning a living from photography for many, many years, I still had to juggle life work aspects, because there was many a times where I missed birthday parties, dinners out, lunches out, because of the pressures of commercial photography. But coming to you off the record as a normal photographer that goes out when I can during the week, I'm lucky that I can do that, and I'm lucky I can spend time perfecting photography, which I think I have. I mean, I don't think I can learn any more, but I want to teach people, and hence a video like this. You do need to spend time working your craft, because I've got a saying, and I've always said this, and people that have watched these videos before, I always say, if you study the science and the craft of photography, the art will surely follow. And that is correct, because to be a good photographer, especially a landscape photographer, but mainly a landscape photographer, you really got to have the heart of a romantic and the brains of a scientist, because there's a lot that goes into capturing our images in the landscape. But it takes time. You have to block out time, and this is where it comes into planning. So if, for argument's sake, you've only got the weekend to go out, and you might only have time to go out once every second weekend, or once a month, that's okay, but it could be better if you could manage it. But it's all about being organised as well. It's no use finishing work on a Friday and then you saying to yourself or your family or your loved ones, I'm going out to take photos on Saturday or Sunday. But if you haven't planned, well then you're really going to struggle. So basically what you have to do, the small amount of time that you have, you've got to make it so-called profitable when it comes to your photography. So start planning your weekend photography pursuits on a Wednesday afternoon. Start planning it. Look at the weather. Look at where you're going. How long is it going to take you to get there? Will you be driving for hours to get there? Because that's eating up into that small amount of time. So time's precious. That old saying, time is precious. In this case, you really need to prioritise your life, really. And to be able to do that, that is a skill in itself, to be able to prioritise time around work, family commitments, and your health as well. Your health's very important. So you must look at what you want to achieve with your photography. Do you think that you need to travel? Do you have to leave or go and drive or travel to far-flung places away from your residence? This all takes time. But if you can get out, the more you can get out, the more times you click that shutter button, the more chances you are of becoming a very good photographer, a very proficient photographer. And this is another thing, proficiency. And that's a great word, proficiency. How to walk into a landscape, walk into a scene, and knowing exactly what you have to do. And that only comes from experience. So to get experience in photography, you need to spend time doing photography. Just go out there and start taking photographs. Even if it's for an hour, it doesn't matter. Even if it's in your backyard or down the street. It doesn't necessarily have to be landscape photography. It could be anything. Also, don't worry about gear. Don't worry about, I haven't got the right lens for this, or I haven't got the right camera for that. That's a nonsense. Whatever you've got, just use. Just go out and use it, whether it's a full frame, micro four thirds, crop sensor, large form, it doesn't matter. Just go out and take photographs, and you'll learn along the way. Because basically the more time you spend at your craft, the better you will become. There is no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. And I've spent years and years and years doing this to the point where it just formed into a life for me. And I've been rather lucky, but I've worked very hard at this. This just doesn't happen overnight, and it won't happen overnight for you either. So the idea is to spend as much time as possible with your camera, go out and just take photographs. And another thing that I'd like to pass on to you is that when you arrive at a location, and I see this so many times, people turn up, they've got a good camera, they've got nice lenses and things, and I watch them and they're walking around trying to find something to photograph. That's detrimental to your mindset. If you've done your homework, you've done your research on the area you're going to, you've brought along the right lenses, when you walk into a scene and you walk into the environment or the landscape and you see something straight away, take a photograph of it. It mightn't be a good shot. It doesn't matter. That's not the point here. Take that first shot, because what that does, that stops procrastination. And these people, I've seen people walk around for 20 minutes and they still haven't taken a photograph. So if you see something straight away, take that photograph and then start to look around, because once you get that going, you'll get that monkey off your back and you know exactly, right, I'm ready to go. I've got my game face on. Let's start taking some photographs. So, but getting back to the time factor here, it's very important that you spend time working with your camera, working on your photography. I find that people, and I know this through public speaking and speaking at camera clubs, that people they're not spending enough time on the craft of their photography, whether they've got time or not. But they think by going out and buying extra gear, well, it'll help them at the back end. It doesn't work like that. You're wasting your money. The idea is to spend your money on your time, and you can educate yourself out there in the landscape, in nature, with your camera. So time is very important for us all, and if you want to improve with your photography, I suggest you spend time doing it, as much time as possible. Any free time you've got, do it, because if you don't, you become very rusty. You're like the Tin Man, where you really struggle. I've seen people go out for end on end for about 3 months, and then they stop for 3 months, and then they go back out again, and they've forgotten how to use their camera. I mean, that's just crazy. It's just madness. So I know, as I said earlier, time is precious for everyone. We haven't got as much time as we used to have. We've got to work harder now because things are more expensive. We need more money. We need to do this. We need to do that. But stop and think why you got into photography in the first place. There's a good point. Why did you get into photography in the first place? Do you find it relaxing? Do you like being out in nature? Well, that takes time. So the idea here, and the gist of this video, is to say to you, look, spend as much time as possible out in the field and try new things, try different things, make notes. I'm an avid note taker. I write a lot and I read a lot. But when I go out into the landscape, I take a little notepad with me and I jot down what settings I use and what the conditions were like. So next time I go out, I'm ready to go because I'm saving time that way. Another thing too, you've got to save time. and that's where your planning comes into it. And I've spoken about planning videos before. I've spoken about planning on videos before, and I'll put a link to those up here somewhere. But you've got to prioritise your time with your photography, because at the end of the day, if you want to become really, really good at photography, and I mean really good, go from here to there, you need to spend time at it. And it's a commitment. You have to make a commitment to this, because let's face it, you've spent all the money on your equipment. Don't leave it in your camera bag in the cupboard. No good. You won't learn that way. You won't certainly improve that way. So look at your time. Look at how much time you have. And as I said, I know time's precious. A lot of people don't have a lot of time. Some people are working 5, 6, 7 days a week because they have to, because of our country and the way it is and how expensive it is. But you have to prioritise your time. Take a block out just for your photography. Go out with your gear and practice and practice and practice with the time that you have. And I can guarantee you, if you do that, you will improve as a photographer. And I always mention that when I'm a guest speaker at camera clubs and talking at photographic conventions and things like that I do. As much time as possible that you have, or as much free time as possible, if you can get out there and practice, you will become much better at the craft of photography. You'll also learn the science of photography, which I'll do another video about the science of photography very shortly. And then if you do that with the time that you've allocated yourself, because this is about you, right? This is about you and your time, then the art of photography will certainly follow. So that's a very good subject. I just wanted to bring that to you. Let me know in the comments below how much time you devote to your photography. And the reason why I want to know this is because I'm trying to put together actually like a bit of a book on how to become a better photographer, and in ways that a lot of people don't speak about. So let me know how much time you spend with your photography and how much time do you allocate to go out and really improve your photography. So that's it, another great subject there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the new subscribers. It means a lot to me. I was due to go out today to do a video on close-up photography with just a camera, macro lens and off-camera flash, but unfortunately the problem for that type of photography is wind, and we have had extreme winds here in the last 2 or 3 days. So I'm here in the office doing this video instead. Hopefully the weather will improve, the wind will drop, and I'll go out tomorrow and I'll bring you that video, because it's a special video. I actually got something special to show you. But until then, thank you for joining me here at Sniper Photography. And as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep shooting and keep smiling. Bye for now.